So, I've avoided talking about this anime for a good few months at least because I felt it was just too much to comprehend at the time. And now that it's sort of dissolved into the back of my brain a little bit more, I feel like I can talk about it. If you haven't been able to tell, either by the title or whatever, it's High School DxD or DD, is it? Either way, talking about it now. It's an interesting anime, to say that. I wanted to watch it after Interspecies Review got taken off of Funimation, and I heard a lot of people saying that if Interspecies Review gets taken down, High School DxD deserves the same sort of amount of, scrutiny, and also deserves to be taken down. Either that, or if you leave one up, you leave them both up. Now, if you haven't heard, Interspecies Review is, or was, I guess, an anime that was licensed to Funimation, and it was these people travel around the world, or their fantasy world that they're in, and they essentially review different women. Essentially, is what it is. It's definitely an interesting anime. I think the Japanese anime got, or the Japanese voiced anime got like 4 episodes before they took it down, and the English dub only got like 1 or 2 episodes before they decided to completely axe it. Which, I don't know. I think it should have stayed up because they still have High School DxD on their site, and that's probably one of the more popular ecchi animes that I can think of anyways. I mean, that's the only one that I've seen so far. Not that I'm actively looking out for that kind of anime, but I just kind of felt like watching it to see what it was all about and to see how it was, and just to kind of have an idea of why people were so up in arms, I guess, about why it was still up when this Interspecies Review was taken down. It was a good show. The plot was okay. The characters were decent. The animation was. That's a loaded question. If I say the animation was like overall, the animation of the show as a whole was pretty damn good. Now, I don't want to narrow that down to any specific part of the animation, but I felt that the whole show was nicely animated, very somewhat realistic for a 2-dimensional cartoon show. I felt that I don't know what else I can say. I don't want to drag this video out any longer than it needs to be. If you haven't seen the show, it follows this guy who dies in a fight, or he goes on a date with this girl, and he thinks she actually likes him. Then he dies. She killed him, and then he gets resurrected by Rias, one of the main characters of the show. Fiery red hair, probably one of the favorites amongst people who've seen the show. And from this point on, I forget his name, but this dude he kind of works as Rias's sort of bitch, I guess. Becomes one of her pawns because this whole show is centered around chess for some reason, which is weird. Like, the whole club that they're a part of is like Rias is the king, Akino's the queen. They get like bishops, and then like this dude is like every single pawn. And then like if they're in battle, they can absorb or take over the power of any one of the pieces that they want to if they're given the opportunity to, which is weird, but okay. I found that to be like the weirdest part of the show. It's like, well, if they have the ability to move fluidly through each piece, what's the point of giving them a specific piece to begin with if they're not all in battle at once? That was a bit confusing, but interesting, to say the very least. Trying to think of what else I can say about the show. Oh yeah, they all think or at least Kaneko thinks he's kind of a pervert, which is kind of true. Actually, it's not kind of true, it's 100% true. Like, throughout the whole show, like, this dude, like, develops, he's got, like, the power of a dragon. He's got, like, this glove thing stuck on his hand, and it's powered by his very perverted brain, and like the more weird and perverted thoughts he can think, the more powerful he gets, which is interesting, to say the very least. I'm going to be saying that a lot throughout this video. I really don't know what else I can say about the show. It was a decent show. I mean, it could have been better. There's 3 seasons that are completely uncensored, and that show a lot of stuff. The 3 seasons show a lot. Not everything, but a lot. And then the 4th season of the show, I guess Kadokawa caught a little bit of backlash and decided to censor the show, which I'm fine with. Like, I'm fine with production companies, censoring the show to kind of appeal to a broader demographic, but it's just the way they did it was, the censoring could have been so much better, because I just found it so much more distracting when they censored the show. Like, when there was a censored episode, I just found the censoring to be more distracting than when it was not censored at all, because they decided to use these like 3D animated like D's with bat wings on them, and the bat wings moved and they kind of bounced up and down, so it just kind of made it more distracting than anything else, in my opinion. Like, if they had just found a different way to censor it instead of just slapping these things on in post, it would have probably been a lot better, so that was my only problem with the show, is that the censoring at times was a lot more distracting than if they had just not censored it at all. It was like one of those shows. I mean, obviously, yes, it's not made for kids, so, but I mean, like, kids are probably going to watch it anyways, let's be honest. If they have, they're going to probably find ways to watch it, but I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. It was a good show. The plot was decent enough. It ended decently enough. It was, I mean, I wouldn't say no to watching more Highschool DxD, but it just was not at the top of my list for favorite anime of all time. With that being said, I will leave you here, and until next time, peace.